John Wick marries two things that our people love, which is gunfights and dogs.
But what I'm teaching him here is that the harder he fights me, the less fight I give him.
How do you go for a nut shot? How do you teach him a nut shot?
I could not do that.
I couldn't do any of that. Welcome to Black Rifle Coffee's Veterans React. I'm Rich Bryan. Today, I'm joined by Dan Holloway and Mike Ritland and Oswald.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's it. Now,
I can go lick your asshole.
yeah, you can go be a dog somewhere. Dan, I didn't tell you today because Mike's here. We were gonna watch some dog videos.
Oh, yeah.
Movies.
Shocking.
First up is John Wick.
John Wick marries two things that our people love, which is gunfights and dogs.
Yeah.
Although the dog gets introduced in kind of a shitty way.
Yeah.
I mean, well, there's two components to it.
Yeah.
There's this portion of the dog, and then there's John Wick 3, where he like kicks it up to 1000x and has Malinois that are.
Spoiler alert. Now in this scene, he's getting a gift from his now deceased wife.
Correct, yeah.
John, I'm sorry I can't be there for you. But you still need someone to love.
It's a cute puppy though. What is that?
A beagle?
A beagle, yeah. Look, I mean, it looks like a toy beagle. It looks even small for a pup.
Daisy, of course.
You know, speaking of toy animals, my animal goal for life, and I don't know if that's a weird thing to have, an animal goal, but I want like a Shetland giraffe. I want like an 18-inch high. No, it's not at all.
Oh.
But I feel like with medical science in China, they're sewing faces onto monkeys and shit.
Wait, what did you say? What did you say to me?
In China, they're sewing faces on the monkeys and shit.
I will say this, I love that car. Even like the Gone in 60 Seconds car, I don't care how overplayed it is.
Shelby. You can tell that guy's a dick just by the way he's acting there, huh?
No, for 100%. You don't even have to hear the dialogue.
It's been such a long time since Game of Thrones, like that's what we always called him. What was his name in Game of Thrones? Theon.
Theon Greyjoy.
Yeah.
The only living son of Balon Greyjoy. Me.
That's good casting and directing, by the way, though, so you don't have any expositional dialogue. You know immediately who the bad guys are just by the way they're behaving.
Excuse me.
How much for the car?
She's not for sale.
Yeah, you can not lean on my car, please, sir.
Having
Having a dog in the home does prevent break-ins.
You need to go.
Yeah,
By a significant margin. I did some research on this back in college.
Yeah, well, yeah. So the FBI statistic is 95% of households with any type of dog, a criminal is likely to move on and go to somewhere else. I mean, on a serious note, what that also tells you is that if you do have an ADT sticker and a dog barking and somebody still comes in, that dude is there for some bad fucking reasons.
Yeah.
I'm going straight to 3.
Well, I see, I haven't even seen 3.
I haven't either.
It has been a long time since our fine city has been graced with your presence.
I need to talk to.
Yes, Miss Salazar.
Isn't that weird?
I don't know. Maybe I was so heartbroken by the dog getting hurt.
I know,
the first time,
same.
I don't want to see it happen
Same.
again.
Well, then you have to see 3, because then it's fucking vengeance time.
Best of luck, Mr. Jonathan. Best of luck.
There are Malinois in the third one that aren't his, but that Halle Berry has.
You kind of rose to some level of notoriety outside of the norm when you went on the news and you were kind of telling people that
Epstein didn't kill himself.
All right. Okay.
these working dogs aren't necessarily just for hanging around the house like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's what's inside every Malinois right there. No, I'm kidding.
You a dog person, John?
Sophia?
The problem with movies like this, she spent months working with a professional trainer.
Sit. I was talking to you, John.
But what most people don't realize, and Max in this movie and all of these movies, there's usually like at least a handful and sometimes even dozens of different dogs for particular scenes. You know, you may take a really docile therapy dog, caliber dog that's, you know, super social for like the intimate close face in my face, or it's like, you know, riding in their lap in a car or whatever. And then they use a totally different dog for the scene where now all of a sudden it's jumping through a building that's on fire. And not that dog training is, you know, rocket science or anything, but it's technical enough to where if you don't know what you're doing, the chances of you, A, getting the right dog to begin with, and then B, just accidentally training it, you know, to the caliber where it's a good dog is basically none.
Very well. And I will kill him.
Oh.
You want out, buddy? What is up? How do you go for a nut shot? How do you teach them a nut shot?
So for anything. I mean, any type of work like this, from a training standpoint.
You see the sleeve.
There's one thing that has to be present, and that's again the proper genetics, i.e. prey drive.
Sophia, don't.
You shot my dog.
I get it.
So with all of these things, it starts at a really young age, and by really young I mean like 4 or 5 weeks, where you're taking a dish towel and waving it in front of the dog's face, and then the dog grabs it. And you can do little things like you tug on it just a little bit, and then you wait for him to counter in deeper, and then you let go and reward that. And that simple mechanism is the basis for, at 5 weeks to this. And all you're doing is slowly stair-stepping along the way, and then it's, you know, a thicker rag, and then it's a little you know, puppy sleeve,
Dummy.
and then it's
Yeah.
a full sleeve, a trial sleeve, a suit. And then you can target certain ways. We call it stapling, where you basically grab the dog's jowls. And at this point, you know, the dog is 1.5 years old. He's been doing it a long time. So when he sees the equipment, they're already fixated on it. And so I grab the dog, and you as the decoy, and wherever you're at, if you want him to target the groin or whatever, is that you just present that basically, and you send the dog, you just staple him right on. Just because the dog does things with equipment doesn't necessarily mean that they will do it without the equipment and for real.
You've seen that too, though, with people in training versus in an actual gunfight, right?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's kind of similar that way, but it has more to do with the genetics of the dog than it does training. And so some of the testing that I do, both for police departments, military groups, personal protection dogs, is essentially picking a fight with a dog with no equipment to ensure that they're gonna try to rip my face off if I push them hard enough. They don't have the same complexities psychologically that we do to rationalize any of that. They either are going to try to fucking bite you or they're not.
Yeah.
For the dogs that genetically have that ingrained into them, it's very easy to push their buttons and piss them off and make them want to bite you.
Best dog of all time.
Old Yeller?
No. Dude, Old Yeller.
He had rabies. You know?
Yeah, I mean, through no fault of his own, I suppose.
Wolf was mad. Oh, shoot him. If you can't.
What's this one? Max?
This is another one of this movie. They used, I think, 16 different dogs.
Oh, wow.
It was over 10. And you can even see it in this one because there's so many like super close-up, you know, images and videos of dogs. Some of them are discolored enough to where it's very obvious.
What's
that it's not
this movie's called? Max? I never heard of this.
Okay, Max. Go search.
So this is the one where the handler gets killed. And the family gets the dog.
Carl's gone.
So this dog is officially your dog. You understand?
The younger brother's having problems, takes the dog, and it's something to that effect.
Huh.
There's a lot of things that are very unrealistic about it.
Good to go.
Both in procedure with the military.
We have surveillance of this village. We know you're selling weapons to the Taliban. Where's your supply?
As well as different things that the dog does or doesn't do that paints what I would call an over-romanticized picture of a working Malinois and makes people think, well, shit, I can do that.
Cool dog.
It's crazy, actually.
It's still kind of irritating to me that this late in the game, with all these people like you and Cheese and all these guys out there, they still get really simple stuff wrong. That's irritating.
Calm down.
My girlfriend's always bitching like, we can't even watch a fucking movie because I'm like, yeah, but it's wrong.
To be fair though, like I think one of the reasons for that is they're playing on heartstrings.
I sure could use a hug right about now.
Yeah.
And for somebody who understands certain aspects of it, the sensationalization of it drives sales.
Right, yeah, sure. I'm not necessarily just talking about the dogs, though. I'm talking about, let's say, an EOD guy that sells some DVDs to a kid.
Want to buy DVDs? Very good, very good.
How much?
1 for $5 and 2 for $9.
The kid gets kidnapped. And he goes out on a one-way mission.
You change anything? You speak English now, don't you? Okay. Yellow, drive.
And then wins an Oscar for it. Kind of irritating, right? The Hurt Locker is the worst movie of all time.
Oh.
It's got to be up in the top 5 worst movies.
I was like, there's a movie about a DJ that was like an EOD, and
it sounded like a fever dream up until the point that I clarified. I'll give you that, yeah.
Let's say an EOD guy that sells some DVDs to a kid. The kid gets kidnapped and he goes out on a one-way mission and wins an Oscar for it.
What the fuck are you doing?
To me, these are no different than any sensationalized movies. I mean, some are better than others. I mean, Black Hawk Down and even 13 Hours. There's Michael Bay. And then there's
Ridley Scott. Two very different approaches there.
You teed up some of your own clips.
Yeah, so this is kind of the stuff I'm talking about. Really, all dog training is I kind of refer to it as light switches, basically, is that what I'm trying to teach the dog here is that when he does what I want him to do, he gets what he wants.
Right.
And so when he's digging in and biting deep like that and shaking and pushing and driving and dominating me.
Look at his tail wagging.
You see what I'm doing?
Yeah.
There's no pressure, right? Well, when he stops, I got up, I started to put pressure on him.
And you're squeezing his scalp almost like, is it like kind of like the mother thing where they correct them by nipping at their neck or
No, it's just
that?
pressure, an uncomfortable spot for the dog to be in. But what I'm teaching him here is that if the harder he fights me, the less fight I give him. So I'm basically teaching him to win. If you'll notice, like I get up, I squeeze him. When he bites deeper while I'm squeezing him, I take all that pressure off. And so I just overlap that and go back and forth to teach the dog to become stronger.
Oh, he's happy.
Yeah, speaking of nut shots, dog training really across the board is all fairly similar. You know, whether you're teaching a dog to heel properly on a sidewalk or teaching dogs to do this stuff, is that in any case where you're introducing something that the dog hasn't seen, you have where you're at A, you have where you want to be B. And just like a business plan or working out or becoming a chef or fucking whatever, is that you develop a plan and then you execute it. The dog already understands being sent in on somebody. He doesn't understand having been done it in a moving vehicle. The key with dog training, even more so than all those other things, is realizing that the dog doesn't think in a language. Right, is that their mind works like a calculator more than it does our mind. So everything to them is A plus B equals C. They're making a very simple...
Like binary.
Yeah, they're making a really simple association with everything. So what we did first was the first session was the vehicle's just sitting there. It's a real short send, just launch up in the back, no problem. Where most people run into problems is they take too big of a step. And you noticed, you know, in those middle sessions where the dog was a little confused, he went, ran down, and was kind of running around, didn't completely put that picture together. Between A and B, or they don't go back when they need to. So we bring it one step back, bring it a little closer, a little slower. He launches back up. The next one, a little faster, a little farther, launches back up, no problem. I mean, for anybody listening, if you want to, whatever it is that you want to teach your dog, just think of it in that context where you're breaking it down to the simplest step possible to start, and then you just slowly add small steps on top of those.
We've got some quick clips here, so just y'all's thoughts on these.
Up. Got it, good boy, come on. Yes, monkey, come.
I could not do that.
I couldn't do any of that.
A dog slacklining on 2 different ropes at the same time. Give me a break.
Yeah, with all this kind of stuff, again, not to harp on genetics, but you do need a very environmentally stable and confident dog to do stuff like that. But then it's the same thing. It's like if I'm using food and this dog only eats its meal I stand by that bucket. Wow. Right, and the dog puts its paw in a bucket, and I click or mark and reward it, and then it's 2 feet, and then it's all 4, and you're building on all of these things. It starts just like everything else in life. It starts with the first step.
Good boy, go.
Build it on
first.
Yeah.
Okay, go.
No one step is harder than the other. It's just a matter of doing it in the correct order and making small enough increments where the dog understands what you want to do.
Turn, go, pup, good boy.
And is confident enough to try it.
It's going through like an American Ninja Warrior course. I was like, okay, they're gonna have a dog climbing a wall here. Okay.
Good. Go.
I don't like that he didn't slide down the slide. He ran down it. Take a little time for yourself, brother.
He's like, now repair the roof.
He's out there doing homeboy's taxes and shit. And that was his reward, the ball?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, so with detection work too, you know, the reason dogs are going out and hunting for explosive or narcotic or human remains or cell phone odor is because they know they're going to get to play with the ball.
Is it animal abuse to dress my dogs up like in really stupid costumes?
No, I encourage it.
Oh, I've seen this one.
The athleticism is
it's ridiculous.
Just full on send and committed.
That's awesome.
That is impressive.
30 feet.
Look at how he tucks his back legs in.
Right? Yeah, he was like,
max distance.
He's playing the rule book, not the game.
They're going farther than human beings in the Olympics.
Well, maybe we should have a dog Olympics instead of this stupid Westminster Abbey nonsense.
Wasabi is the Best in Show winner.
Small package, big presence.
I mean, to each their own.
Right.
It's a personal preference and appreciation.
I don't think there's any shortage of dog videos for us to watch on the internet.
No, that's why DARPA invented the internet in the beginning, is to watch animal videos.
Oh, Jesus. We didn't even do DARPA videos or Boston Dynamics.
Yeah. That's a whole other
Next
episode.
time. Mike, what you got going on? Where can people find you?
If you just go to MikeRitlandCo.com, that's where kind of everything is linked to. So whether it's social media or the products I have, or dog sales, or books, speaking engagements, whatever, just go to that main website.
Nice. And you guys actually did a podcast here recently.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, we did. Yeah. Well,
mic drop.
Yep. And we've done mine as well, Drink It Bros. And you haven't been on American Party with Dakota yet.
Nope.
That might be too much Navy in one thing for me, because the Marine Corps is the Navy, folks. Let's face it. Yeah, but you can find me at Drink It Bros Podcast, at Dan Holloway on all social medias.
All links in the description below. If there's anybody else you guys want to see on here, any topics, conversations, just let us know in the comments below, that whole thing that we do. And I guess we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for coming out.
Yep.
You bet.